What happens when the man hired to destroy your town becomes the only one who can save your life? She was the sheriff of a quiet, rural community where nothing ever changed, until the night a cartel assassin walked into her diner, bleeding, dangerous, and carrying a secret that could burn the entire county to the ground. She should have arrested him on the spot. She should have called backup. She should have run. But when their eyes met, something shifted, something forbidden, something she couldn't. She explained Herman shouldn't feel, because he wasn't just a threat to her badge, he was a threat to her heart. And what happens next? Neither of them is prepared for. Stay with me. This one will break you. Before we begin, if you love emotional, forbidden, edge-of-your-seat stories, hit like and subscribe. This channel brings you the most intense romance thrillers every week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Have you ever met someone who felt like a warning and a promise at the same time? Someone you should fear, yet can't walk away from? If you have, you already understand what Sheriff Amelia Torres felt the night she crossed paths with the cartel's deadliest hitman. Her town was supposed to be safe, the kind of place where people left their doors unlocked and trusted the stars more than the streetlights. But all it takes is one stranger, one wound, one heartbeat out of rhythm to turn peace into chaos. Amelia had spent years keeping this town together with her bare hands, breaking up bar fights, chasing teenagers off train tracks, calming desperate families. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared her for the man bleeding on the floor of the local diner. He called himself Rafe. He didn't explain the bullet hole in his side, and he didn't beg for help. Killers never do. But there was something in his eyes, something that made her hesitate, something that made her step closer, instead of stepping back. A sheriff and a cartel assassin. Two people who should have destroyed each other on sight. Two lives that should never have crossed. Two souls that should never, ever have touched. But the universe loves impossible stories. And fate, well, fate has a cruel sense of humor. As you listen to this story, I want you to pay attention to the small moments, the ones that change everything without warning. The choices that seem harmless until they start unraveling everything. You thought was solid, because what you're about to hear isn't just a story about crime or justice. It's a story about survival, about danger, about the kind of connection that breaks every rule and saves you anyway. And what happens next will test both of them in ways they never imagined. Let's begin. Rafe Morales wasn't the kind of man who stumbled. He wasn't the kind who bled in public either. But that night, as a storm swept across the lonely desert highway, he pushed through the door of a small-town diner like a ghost on the edge of disappearing. The bell above the entrance chimed softly, completely out of place for someone like him. Sheriff Amelia Torres looked up from her booth, mid-bite, instinct firing before her mind could catch up. She noticed everything in one glance, the way he kept one hand pressed against his ribs, the dark stains spreading under his jacket, the sharpness of his eyes scanning the room, calculating exits and threats. She knew danger when she saw it. And this man, he wasn't danger, he was the source of it. But instead of calling for backup, instead of reaching for the radio clipped to her belt, Amelia stood. Rafe barely made it 3 steps before his knees buckled. The waitress screamed, the cook dropped a metal spatula, and the old man at the corner booth ducked behind his newspaper like it was a shield. Amelia moved fast, too fast even for herself, catching Rafe by the arm before he hit the ground. His body was heavy, solid, fever-hot, and when his dark eyes lifted to hers, something inside her chest pulled tight. Not fear, not exactly, recognition, as if she'd seen those eyes in a nightmare before. "Sit down," she ordered, guiding him into a booth. "You're hurt." He smirked, though his breathing was shallow. "You're observant, Sheriff." Her jaw clenched. He had seen the badge on her belt. He knew exactly who she was. "Who shot you?" she asked. He leaned back, wincing. "You don't want those problems." "That's not how it works." "In my town," she snapped. A faint, humorless laugh escaped him, surprising, warm in a way it shouldn't be. "Your town," he repeated softly, almost like he admired it. Before she could respond, Rafe's hand slipped from his wound. Blood seeped through his fingers and pooled on the vinyl seat. He needed medical attention. He needed backup. He needed to be arrested. But Amelia did none of those things, because the moment she reached for her radio, Rafe's hand shot out, gripping her wrist with surprising strength. "Don't," he whispered. "If you call anyone, I die before sunrise." His eyes didn't plead, they warned. And Amelia, a woman who feared nothing, felt her pulse stutter. "What are you running from?" she asked quietly. Rafe looked away, jaw tightening, something dark flickering across his expression. "Not running," he murmured. "Finishing something." She should have walked out. She should have handcuffed him. She should have gotten as far from this man as possible. Instead, she whispered, "Let me help you." Rafe's breath hitched, not from pain, but from surprise. No one offered help to someone like him. No one saw past what he was trained to be. Outside, thunder cracked. Inside, the lights flickered, and Amelia Torres, sheriff of a town that never made headlines, made a choice that would soon ignite a war far bigger than anything she ever signed up for. Because Rafe Morales wasn't just a wounded stranger. He was the cartel's deadliest hitman. And by touching him, by saving him, she had just crossed the point of no return. The clinic lights buzzed above them, casting a sterile glow over the chaos Amelia had dragged into the quiet halls of her small-town ER. Rafe leaned heavily against her shoulder, each breath strained, each step a reminder that she was helping a man who should have been in handcuffs or a morgue. The night nurse rushed over, eyes widening at the amount of blood. "What happened?" she asked, already reaching for gloves and gauze. Amelia didn't even hesitate. "Bar fight," she lied smoothly. "He got caught in the middle." Rafe's gaze snapped toward her, sharp, startled, almost grateful, but he stayed quiet. The nurse frowned. "This doesn't look like a bar fight, Sheriff." "I said," Amelia repeated, lowering her voice, "it was a bar fight." Something in her tone made the nurse swallow and nod. As they wheeled Rafe toward a private room, Amelia felt the first tremor of fear, not for herself, but for what she had just done. Sheriffs don't lie for strangers. Sheriffs don't protect criminals. Sheriffs don't drag cartel gunmen into local clinics and pretend they're drunk cowboys with bad luck. But something about him, something she still couldn't name, had forced the lie out before she could stop it. Inside the exam room, Rafe sat on the bed, shirt half torn, blood streaking down his side. The doctor hurried in, assessing the wound with quick, practiced eyes. "This is a bullet graze," he said flatly. "Bar fight?" Amelia held his stare. Her heartbeat thundered. Her palms were damp. "Yes." The silence that followed felt like a fault line cracking beneath her feet. But the doctor eventually sighed, muttering, "People in this town are getting wilder every year." He turned to Rafe. "You're lucky. Bullet barely missed anything vital. I can stitch this, but you'll need antibiotics and rest. Lots of rest." Rafe exhaled slowly. Relief softened the rigid tension in his shoulders, but Amelia knew that once the doctor stepped out, reality would come crashing back. And it did. The second the door shut behind him, Rafe's voice dropped to a low whisper. "Why did you lie for me?" His eyes were pitch black in the dim light, not empty but deep, watchful, like a man who spent his life waiting for betrayal. Amelia crossed her arms, though her pulse betrayed her. "You needed medical help. If I told the truth, this room would be crawling with state troopers." "That's not an answer." Rafe's stare intensified. "Sheriffs don't cover for men like me." "Then it's a good thing I don't know who you are," she shot back. Too fast, too defensive. Rafe tilted his head. "But you do," he said quietly. "Or at least, you suspect." The truth flickered between them like static electricity. Amelia didn't deny it. She didn't have to. Rafe's voice softened, a dangerous kind of softness. "You just risked your job, your badge, your entire reputation. For me." She looked away. "I acted on instinct." Instinct, he echoed, almost amused. You must have terrible instincts, Sheriff. Maybe I do. They fell into silence, not empty, but charged. Rafe leaned forward slightly, wincing as the doctor's stitches pulled at his skin. You don't get it, he said. If anyone finds out what I do, you're done. They'll take your badge, your career, your life as you know it. Amelia stepped closer, her expression tightening. Then you better make sure no one finds out. His breath caught, the faintest reaction, barely visible. You're playing with fire, he warned. I enforce the law, she said. I don't run from fire. His eyes softened in a way she didn't expect. Not pity, not admiration, but something far more dangerous, curiosity. And what happens, he asked slowly, when the fire starts to burn you instead? She swallowed hard. Then I put it out. But they both knew the truth. She wasn't going to put out anything. Not when every second around him felt like standing too close to a match. Rafe shifted, the pain making his voice rough, raw. You didn't save me tonight, he murmured. You tied yourself to me. Amelia held his gaze. So untie me. Rafe's dark eyes flickered with something that looked almost like regret. I can't. A shiver ran through her spine, not of fear, but something dangerously close to anticipation, because in that moment she understood. She hadn't saved his life. She had entered it. And nothing, not her badge, not the law, not the cartel, would ever let her walk away clean again. Rafe should have been on his way out of the county by morning. That was the plan, or at least the version of reality Amelia tried to convince herself she believed in. But when the doctor discharged him before sunrise, Rafe could barely stand without gritting his teeth. And when she offered to drive him out of town, he didn't refuse. He simply watched her with those unsettling eyes that saw too much. The ride was silent. Too silent. The desert outside her. Cruiser glowed faintly under the dawn. Cacti, telephone poles, dust. Everything looked exactly as it had for years. But Amelia felt different. She felt the weight of last night pressing on her badge, her ribs, her throat. She pulled up beside an abandoned ranch outside county lines. The safe choice, neutral ground, no witnesses. Get out, she said softly. Rafe obeyed, slow, careful. The stitches pulled at his side and he winced, but even injured, he carried himself like someone trained to. Endure anything. She should have left him there, but she didn't. He turned to her, leaning slightly on the doorframe. You shouldn't be seen with me again. Trust me, she muttered. I'm aware. Rafe smirked, though pain flickered in the expression. You're a terrible liar when you're angry. I'm not angry. Yes, he said, eyes narrowing in a way that felt intimate. You are. Her jaw clenched, not because he was wrong, but because he wasn't. I'm angry, she snapped, because I know exactly what you are, and I still... She stopped herself, too close, too honest. Rafe stepped closer, close enough she could smell dust, sweat, and gunpowder in the fabric of his jacket. Still what, Sheriff? The air tightened. Amelia stepped back. She couldn't breathe with him that near. But it didn't matter, because when she returned to town later that morning, everything was already starting to unravel. The whispers begin. She heard it first at the cafe. Two locals, Mrs. Green and old Mr. Hartley, leaned across a table, their voices low. Saw the sheriff bringing in a stranger last night, covered in blood. Didn't call paramedics, didn't call deputies. You think she's hiding something? Amelia paused mid-step. She had always been the protector, the one this town trusted, respected, depended on. Now those same people lowered their voices when she walked past. They stopped talking when she opened the door. They watched her, the way prey watches a shadow. She tried to shake it off. But by noon, two deputies approached her in the station. Sheriff, Deputy Collins said, rubbing the back of his neck awkwardly, we heard you brought someone in last night. The clinic reported a male with a gunshot wound. They said you didn't file a report. Her stomach dropped. The clinic had talked, and her deputies, her people, were no longer questioning the situation. They were questioning her. "I handled it," she said calmly. "That's not what I asked," Collins replied. The room went silent. Her authority, once unquestioned, felt suddenly fragile. Amelia forced a breath. "It was a bar fight gone wrong. Injuries weren't life-threatening. I decided not to escalate." Deputy Collins exchanged a look with Deputy Reyes, a look that said they didn't believe a word. "Sheriff," Reyes said slowly, "if there's something going on, you can tell us." But she couldn't. Not without destroying everything. She dismissed them with a firm nod. They left, but the unease remained, hanging. Heavy in the room like smoke from a fire no one could find the source of. The first cracks in her reputation. By evening, the whispering had spread across the entire town. She brought in a stranger at midnight. No paperwork. No identification. Blood on her uniform. She's hiding something. And the truth was simple and terrifying. They were right. Amelia's pulse pounded beneath her uniform. Rafe's face flashed in her mind. The way he had looked at her. The way she had lied without hesitation. She had crossed a line, but she didn't regret it. Not yet. When Rafe returns, she wasn't expecting to see him again. But as she stepped out of the station that night, there he was, leaning against a lamppost across the street, hood up, eyes sharp. Her breath hitched. "What are you doing here?" she hissed, storming across the sidewalk. "Checking on you," Rafe said easily. "You can't be here, not tonight, not ever." He studied the tension in her shoulders, the exhaustion, the anger, the fear. "They're already talking, aren't they?" he said quietly. She swallowed. "Yes." Rafe exhaled, a faint ache in the sound. "And you still protected me." Amelia shoved him lightly, more emotional than physical. "Are you insane? You being here only makes it worse." Rafe stepped closer, not touching her, but close enough she felt his presence like heat. "You're in this because of me," he murmured. "So until I'm gone, you're not dealing with it alone." Her throat tightened, painfully, because she realized something. He wasn't just trouble. He wasn't just danger. He wasn't just a mistake. He was becoming a choice. And that, more than anything, terrified her. The storm that hit the town 2 nights earlier was nothing compared to the storm that arrived now. The human kind. The kind that moved silently, observed from shadows, and didn't leave until blood had been spilled. The cartel had finally realized Rafe Morales was missing, and they were coming. It started with a silence, too heavy for a place as small as Ridge Point. A silence Amelia felt in her bones before she saw any sign of danger. Deputy Reyes rushed into her office mid-afternoon, out of breath. "Sheriff, you need to see this." He led her outside to the parking lot where tire tracks, deep wide from heavy off-road vehicles, cut across the dirt. "These don't belong to anyone local," he said. No, they didn't. Rafe appeared beside the chain-link fence at the edge of the lot. He didn't speak, didn't need. To his expression told her everything. "They're here," he murmured. "The cartel." She swallowed. "How many?" "A scout team first," he said. 2 or 3 men. Looking around, asking questions quietly, the way predators smell for blood. "And after that?" Rafe's eyes darkened. "Depends on what they find." Amelia felt the weight of the badge on her chest, heavier than it had ever felt before. "They can't find you," she said. "They won't," he replied, "unless someone leads them to me." And someone. Already had it didn't take long for the first witness report to reach her desk. A ranch hand claimed he saw 2 men in black SUVs driving slowly past Main Street, stopping outside the diner where Rafe had collapsed days earlier. An elderly woman swore she saw strangers outside the clinic, asking about a wounded man brought in by the sheriff. And then, a call from Deputy Collins. "Sheriff, we have a situation." She drove out to the old water tower, a known meeting spot for local teenagers. where two unfamiliar men were standing at the edge of the field. Tattoos snaked up their necks. One carried a duffel bag, another smoked like he had all the time in the world. They turned as she approached. "Afternoon, Sheriff," one said with a cold smile. "Beautiful town you have here?" Amelia's hand hovered near her holster. "State your business." "Oh, we're just passing through," he said, shrugging. "Looking for someone." "Rafe Morales," but she kept her face steady. "Name?" "Didn't say I had one." He flicked his cigarette to the ground. "But maybe you can help. Heard there was a shooting the other night. Someone bled a whole lot. Someone who shouldn't bleed and live." Her spine stiffened. "You hear wrong." He tilted his head, studying her. "Funny. You look like someone who's hiding something." Before she could respond, the second man leaned in. "Word travels fast, Sheriff, especially when one of ours goes missing." Amelia's stomach dropped. They knew. Not everything, but enough. She stayed calm. "Leave my town now." The men exchanged a slow, taunting grin. "Oh, we're not staying," one said. "We're just searching." He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "And we'll search every corner of this place until we find him." It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Rafe's reaction. That night, she found Rafe sitting behind the station, elbows on his knees, staring at the dirt like it held his fate. "I saw them," he said before she spoke. "They weren't subtle. They confronted me," she said. "They're not scared of badges." "No," Rafe agreed. "My cartel fears only one thing: betrayal." The word hung between them. "You didn't betray them," Amelia said quietly. Rafe shook his head. "They think I did. That's enough." He stood, swaying slightly, the wound still tender. "Your town is in danger because of me," he said. "I should leave. Tonight." "No," she snapped instantly. Too fast, too emotional. He paused. "No." Amelia stepped closer, her jaw tight. "If you leave now, they'll follow you, they'll kill you, and then they'll come back here anyway because they think your disappearance has something to do with us." Rafe looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time, not as a sheriff, not as a protector, but as someone willing to take a risk she didn't have to take. "Why do you care?" he whispered. She swallowed. "Because someone bleeding in my arms doesn't stop being my responsibility, and someone hunted in my town falls under my protection." Rafe's voice softened. "And me? Do I fall under your protection?" She didn't answer. She didn't have to. The first real move at dawn, Amelia found a message carved into the side of her cruiser. "We know. He's ours." Her blood ran cold. Rafe read it, jaw tightening. "They're not just looking for me anymore," he said quietly. "They're looking for you." And that was the moment Amelia Torres realized this wasn't just a threat. It was a declaration of war. The sun hadn't even finished setting when the danger finally stepped out of the shadows. For hours, Amelia felt it, that eerie stillness before something breaks. Dogs barked without reason. Storefront lights flickered even though the power grid was stable, and locals hurried home earlier than usual, whispering about strangers seen near the old highway. But it wasn't until she returned to her small sheriff's office that the first real sign appeared. Her desk drawer was open. She never left it open. Inside, a single item lay neatly placed on top of her files. A black playing card, a king of spades. The cartel's calling card, left only when they were sending a message or a warning. Her pulse spiked. She scanned the room. Nothing else was disturbed. No forced entry, no footprints. Someone had walked in and out without leaving a mark. Someone trained, someone skilled, someone watching. Rafe appeared in the doorway, quiet but unmistakably tense. "They were here," he said, reading the fear in her eyes. Before she spoke, "They broke into the sheriff's office," she replied, voice low. "No," he corrected. "They broke into your space. That means it's personal now." She swallowed hard. "I need to alert the deputies, put the town on lockdown, request backup." "That's exactly what they want you to do," Rafe cut in. "They want panic, noise, movement. While everyone's distracted, they'll strike where you least expect. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text message. You can't protect him. You can't protect yourself. Her stomach twisted violently. Rafe stepped closer, reading over her shoulder. His jaw clenched, something dark clouding his expression. They're escalating faster than I thought, he murmured. Too fast. Why? She demanded. Why risk everything to find you? What did you do? Rafe hesitated, a dangerous silence. Then, I didn't complete an assignment. She stared at him. You refused to kill someone. No, Rafe said quietly. I refused to kill a town. Her breath stopped. What? He turned toward the window, eyes shadowed. They ordered me to send a message, a brutal one. They wanted Ridge Point, your quiet, innocent town, to serve as an example to rival groups. A massacre. No survivors. Her chest tightened, a cold dread creeping up her spine. And you said no? I said no, Rafe whispered. And that's why they want me dead. Before she could process it, headlights flared outside, too bright, too fast. Amelia grabbed her gun. Rafe grabbed her arm. Down! The windows shattered as bullets tore through the office in a deafening storm of glass and metal. Amelia ducked behind the steel filing cabinet, pulling Rafe down with her. More shots, more breaking glass, metal screeching, men yelling outside. They weren't here to intimidate, they were here to kill. Amelia peeked over the edge of the cabinet just long enough to see a black SUV speeding past, masked gunmen hanging out of the windows, firing indiscriminately. Rafe swore under his breath. They're sending search teams and execution teams. They're risking exposure. That means they're desperate, Amelia finished. He nodded once. And when they're desperate, they get sloppy. But Amelia wasn't thinking about cartel patterns or tactical analysis. She was thinking about the bullet hole 3 inches from her head. She was thinking about her deputies, unprepared, outgunned, unaware. She was thinking about the town she swore to protect, and how danger had arrived because of him. When the gunfire finally stopped, Amelia rose carefully, brushing shards of glass from her shirt. Rage burned in her veins. This is my town, she said, voice trembling with fury. They don't get to do this here. Rafe stood slowly, wincing as his stitches pulled. They won't stop, he warned. Not until you give me to them. Her jaw tightened. I'm not handing you over. Rafe stepped closer, too close, his eyes burning with a mixture of gratitude and guilt. You're risking everything, he whispered, for someone who doesn't deserve your protection. She held his stare. You're wrong, she said quietly. You saved this town once. Let me return the favor. The moment hung there, fragile, electric. Then Rafe touched her hand, barely a brush of his fingers, but enough to send a shiver through her body. Amelia, he breathed, voice raw. You don't know what you're choosing. She pulled her hand away, not out of rejection, but out of fear of how much she wanted him close. Then, explain it to me, she said, before this town burns. Rafe looked at the shattered window, fallen glass glittering on the floor like tiny stars. I will, he promised, but not here, not tonight. A second SUV engine roared in the distance. They're circling back, Rafe said urgently. We need to move. And as they fled into the darkness together, Sheriff and Hitman, Amelia realized the truth she had been avoiding. The cartel wasn't making a threat. They were beginning a war, and she was now fighting it on the wrong side of the badge. The night felt colder than usual as Amelia and Rafe fled across the backfields, their silhouettes cutting through moonlit grass and long, trembling shadows. Behind them, the sheriff's office burned with broken glass and bullet holes, a visual reminder that Amelia Torres no longer lived in the world she thought she controlled. She wasn't just a sheriff anymore, not in this war, not with him. They reached an old barn at the edge of Ridge Point. Abandoned for years, one of the few places strangers wouldn't think to search. Rafe pushed open the door, checking corners with the natural instincts of a man who had lived half his life expecting an ambush. Inside, he murmured. We'll talk here. She stepped in slowly, her pulse still pounding from the attack. Dust floated in beams of moonlight. Hay rustled under her boots. The barn smelled of age, loneliness, and secrets. Fitting, she thought bitterly. Rafe closed the door behind them, and, for the first time since bullets shattered her windows, the world went quiet. Amelia leaned against a wooden support beam, trying to steady her breathing. She was holding it together, barely, on pure adrenaline and pride. Rafe watched her carefully. "You shouldn't stay here," he said softly. "They attacked you because of me." "You don't get to decide where I stay," she snapped, her voice sharper than intended. He didn't flinch. "You're angry. Good. Anger keeps you alive." "No," Amelia said, stepping toward him, her eyes blazing with something deeper, more raw. "Anger keeps me honest," she grabbed his arm. "Tell me why they're hunting you. Tell me why they're willing to tear apart an entire town to get you back." Rafe looked away, jaw clenched. "Because I did the one thing the cartel doesn't forgive," he said finally. "I walked away." She frowned. "That can't be all. Hitmen try to disappear all the time." He inhaled sharply, a breath filled with guilt and something colder. "I wasn't ordered to kill a rival," Rafe said. "I wasn't ordered to punish a traitor. I was ordered to eliminate someone who wouldn't bend to the cartel." "A witness," she guessed. "No." "A politician?" "No." His voice dropped into something almost pained. "A sheriff." Her heart stopped. "Me?" she whispered. He nodded, eyes meeting hers with brutal honesty. "You were the target, Amelia. Not your town. You." The barn went silent, heavy, suffocating, unreal. Amelia felt her knees weaken. She took a step back like the truth had struck her physically. "Why me?" she whispered. "I've never gone after the cartel. I've never—" "You stood up to them," Rafe said, moving closer. "You refused bribes years ago. You refused intimidation. You refused silence. They don't forget people who say no." Amelia exhaled shakily. "And they sent you to kill me." Rafe nodded slowly. "But when I saw you," he said, his voice roughening, "when I watched how you defended that waitress from a drunk with a gun, when I saw how you talked to your deputies with respect, not fear, something inside me wouldn't move. I couldn't do it." Amelia swallowed hard. "So you disobeyed." "I saved you," he corrected, stepping closer. "And the second I did, I signed both our death warrants." Her chest tightened painfully. The air felt electric, dangerous, charged with something she couldn't name. "You should have walked away," she whispered. "You should have killed me and saved yourself." Rafe shook his head. "I don't kill people who don't deserve to die." "Then why kill for them at all?" she asked. He looked down, ashamed, haunted. "Because until recently, I didn't think I deserved anything better." That admission fractured something inside her. The image of him as a cold, ruthless killer cracked open to reveal a man carrying guilt like armor and regret like shadow. She stepped closer. "So what happens now?" she asked. "What are my choices?" Rafe held her gaze, steady, unflinching. "You have three." He raised one finger. "One, turn me in. Maybe the FBI hides you, maybe not." A second finger. "Two, walk away from me. Pretend none of this happened. Hope the cartel believes I acted alone." A third. "Three, trust me. Stay close. Let me protect you until I find a way to end this." She breathed in sharply. "That third option," she said, "sounds like the most dangerous one." "It is," Rafe murmured. "For both of us." He stepped closer, close enough that she felt the warmth of him, the danger, the pull she tried so violently to ignore. "Then why offer it?" she whispered. His voice was low, trembling at the edges. "Because I can survive being hunted," he said, "but I won't survive watching them hurt you." The confession slammed into her like a blow. Her heart kicked against her ribs. Her throat tightened. She knew then, unmistakably, that the choice she was about to make would change everything, not just for her badge, not just for her town, but for her heart and for him. Choices are supposed to feel clear, right or wrong, black or white, law or crime. But nothing felt clear anymore. Not when Amelia Torres stood inside that abandoned barn, staring at the man who had been sent to kill her, and realizing she would rather risk her life beside him than live safely without him. Her badge weighed on her chest like a stone. Rafe's confession weighed heavier. Outside, the desert wind howled, bending the brittle grass. The world seemed to be leaning in, waiting for the moment her life would split in two. Rafe watched her, silent, unreadable, barely breathing. "Well?" he asked softly. "Which path are you taking?" Amelia stepped forward, meeting him at the center of the dim barn, the air between them warm with tension and fear. "I choose the option," she whispered, "that keeps you alive." Rafe blinked, a slow, stunned reaction, as if he'd expected her to turn away, to save herself. "You understand what that means?" he murmured. "Yes," she said. "It means I'm not letting the cartel win." But the truth ran deeper, deeper than she dared admit out loud. It wasn't just about beating the cartel, it was about him, Rafe Morales, the man she should have arrested, the man she should have feared, had become the one person she could not abandon. And that choice came with a price, a heavy, devastating price. The first cost, her badge. The next morning, Amelia received a call from the district office. "Sheriff Torres," the voice on the other end said tightly, "we've received reports of you, harboring an unidentified wounded male. Witnesses saw your office attacked. No official report was filed." Her blood ran cold. "We need you to come in for questioning," the voice continued, "and hand over your badge until the investigation is complete." Hand over her badge, her identity, her duty, her life's purpose. Gone. "Understood," Amelia replied, though her throat had closed around the word. Rafe watched her hang up, tension slicing through his jaw. "They're coming after you," he said. "Faster than I expected. I can handle internal affairs," she insisted. "No, you can't," he said. "Not when they think you're compromised." Her silence confirmed it. Compromised. The word echoed through her like a punch, because she was. Not by corruption, but by loyalty to a man she had no right to care about. The second cost. Her town's trust. When she returned to Ridge Point, the whispers weren't whispers anymore. People stared openly. Conversation stopped as she walked past. A child tugged on her mother's sleeve and asked too loudly, "Mommy, is the sheriff a bad guy now?" Her heart broke a little at that. Deputy Reyes approached her outside the station. Amelia, what's going on?" he asked gently. "People are scared. They think you're hiding something, are you?" She looked at him. A good man, loyal, honest. She could have lied. She could have said she had everything under control, but the weight of her choice pressed against her ribs. "I can't tell you everything," she said softly, "but I promise you I'm doing what I have to do." Reyes stared at her for a long moment. "You sound like someone preparing to lose everything," he said quietly. She didn't answer, because he was right. The third cost, her safety. That night, as she and Rafe hid in an old cabin outside town, headlights appeared on the highway. Slow, predatory, searching. Amelia killed the lantern. Rafe pulled her down behind the table. A black SUV crawled past the property, windows as tinted, engine rumbling like a growl in the dark. Rafe leaned close, voice barely audible. "They're not searching anymore, they're tracking. Someone is feeding them information." She froze. "No," she whispered. "No one in my town would..." Rafe shook his head. "They don't need someone loyal, they just need someone scared." Her stomach twisted. Someone in Ridge Point had betrayed her. The cost of choosing him was spreading fast, a wildfire she couldn't contain. Her badge, her reputation, her safety, all unraveling. And yet, when Rafe's hand brushed hers in the darkness, she felt something terrifying. She didn't regret it, not even for a second. The final cost. Her heart. Later, when the danger passed and the cabin was quiet again, Amelia stood by the window looking out at the moonlit desert, shoulders tight. Rafe approached slowly. "You shouldn't have chosen me," he said. She didn't turn around. "And yet I did," she replied. "You're losing everything." "Maybe," she whispered. "But saving you feels like the first thing I've gotten right in a long time." Rafe inhaled sharply, a sound full of emotion he didn't know how to show. He moved closer, stopping only inches behind her. "You're going to get hurt because of me." She finally faced him, her voice steady. "I'm already hurt, Rafe, but not because of you, because of what they're doing, because of what this town is becoming, because no one in this story gets to stay clean." He reached up, gently brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "This wasn't supposed to happen," he murmured. "No," she whispered. "But it did." Their faces were so close, she felt his breath on her lips. And that was when Amelia understood the final, irreversible truth. Choosing him didn't just cost her career, her safety, her reputation. It cost her the ability to pretend she didn't feel anything. She had fallen for the man who came to kill her. And now there was no taking it back. The cartel had failed twice. Failed to find Rafe in the desert. Failed to kill Amelia at the sheriff's office. And cartels don't tolerate failure. They adapt, they escalate, they strike where it hurts the most. Rafe sensed it first. The morning sky was pale and cold when he jolted awake in the cabin, breath sharp, every instinct screaming wrong. Amelia stirred beside him on the floor, wrapped in a blanket, her body stiff from a night spent listening for engines on the highway. Rafe stood, scanning the cabin through the slats of boarded windows. "They're moving," he murmured. "How do you know?" Amelia whispered, rising too. He tapped his temple. "When you spend your life hunting people, you learn to feel when someone is hunting you back." Amelia crossed her arms, trying to shake off a chill. "We need a plan," she said. "We can't keep hiding forever." "We won't," Rafe replied. "But first, A phone vibrated. Her phone. She froze. It shouldn't have been able to ring. She had shut it off last night. Her breath trembled as she looked at the cracked screen. One new message, from a number she didn't recognize. "We found the girl." Her blood went cold. "No," she whispered. "No, they didn't. They couldn't have." Rafe moved to her side. "Who?" he demanded. "Who did they find?" Amelia's throat closed. "My sister." The only family she had left, Sofia Torres, was the opposite of Amelia. Soft-hearted, artistic, still living in the city with their aunt. She had no connection to Ridge Point, no link to the cartel, no involvement in anything except Amelia. The cartel didn't have to find Amelia to weaken her. They just had to find someone she loved. Amelia grabbed her keys. "I'm going to get her," she said, voice trembling with panic. Rafe caught her arm. "No, you're not. Let go of me," she snapped. "They want you to run," he said. "They want you emotional, reckless, vulnerable. That's how they control the trap." "This isn't a trap," Amelia said, pulling away. "This is Sofia. I don't get to wait around while they—" "You'll die," Rafe said, stepping closer, voice low, steady, brutally honest. "And she'll die right after." Amelia's chest tightened painfully. "Then what do you expect me to do? Sit here while my sister is—" Rafe cupped her face gently, but his eyes were fierce. "I'm not telling you to do nothing. I'm telling you to do this right." He stepped back, grabbing his jacket and holster. "We go together. We go smart. We go fast. And we don't play by their rules." Amelia swallowed hard. "Where do we start?" Rafe exhaled. "We start by assuming they're not bluffing." The trap springs. They drove toward the city in an unmarked pickup Amelia had borrowed years ago for undercover work. The closer they got, the more Rafe's posture changed, rigid, alert, every muscle wired for danger. As they turned down a quiet residential street, Amelia's heart pounded. Sofia lived 3 blocks away. Rafe held out an arm suddenly. "Stop." Amelia froze. Rafe scanned the street, searching. There, he said softly, pointing. A black SUV, same model as the cartel's, parked half a block from Sophia's building. Engine cold, windows dark, a predator waiting. "They're inside already," Rafe murmured. Amelia's breath caught. "No, Sophia doesn't know anything. They wouldn't hurt her, she's just a weakness," Rafe said sharply. "And weaknesses get exploited." Amelia tried to open the door, but Rafe grabbed her wrist. "You storm in and she dies," he said. "They want you emotional. You need to think." Her voice cracked. "Then tell me what to do, Rafe, please." It was the first time she had ever said please to him, and it broke something in him. "We draw them out," Rafe said, switching into the voice of a trained killer. "Make them show their hand. Create an opening." Amelia wiped her eyes, hands trembling. "And if there is no opening?" Rafe slid a knife from his boot. "Then I make one." The realization that shatters her. They approached the back of the building where Sophia lived. Rafe moved like a shadow, silent and precise, checking corners, listening to vibrations in the air. Then he stopped abruptly. "Amelia," he whispered, "brace yourself." He pushed open the stairwell door. A phone lay on the concrete steps. Sophia's phone. Screen cracked, camera lens smeared. A small smear of blood near the corner. Amelia's knees nearly buckled. Rafe caught her. "They didn't kill her," he said quickly. "This is staged. They want you scared." "It's working," Amelia whispered, voice breaking. Rafe tilted her chin so she met his eyes. "That's why you need me." Her breath shuddered. "Why?" "Because for the first time," Rafe said softly, "they've taken something from you. Not the badge, not the town, not your pride. They took your heart. And I'm the only one who knows how these monsters think." Something shifted then, something she didn't expect. Not fear, not despair. Trust. Painful, unwanted, but real. Amelia stood taller. "Then we get her back," she said. Rafe nodded. "We will." The truth that cuts deeper than any threat. As they prepared to move deeper into the building, Amelia grabbed Rafe's arm. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly. His jaw tensed. "Because the cartel took everything from me too," he said. "They won't take you." "But Sophia isn't me," she said. "You don't even know her." Rafe looked at her, deeply, intensely, as if the world had fallen away. "I know you," he said, "and that's enough." Her heart cracked open. And that moment, fragile, dangerous, intimate, was exactly what the cartel wanted. Because the trap wasn't just the kidnapping. The trap was making Amelia desperate enough to break every rule she ever lived by. And now, she was ready to burn the world down to save the last person she loved. The building was too quiet, not abandoned, not chaotic, just wrong. Rafe felt it before Amelia did, the kind of silence that didn't belong in a residential complex at 2 a.m. A silence manufactured by fear. He held up a hand. "Stay behind me." Amelia nodded, clutching her weapon so tightly her knuckles turned white. They moved up the stairwell, stepping over Sophia's shattered phone. The tiny streak of blood near the screen pulsed in Amelia's mind like a heartbeat. Sophia, Sophia, Sophia. Every step was a countdown. On the third floor, Rafe stopped again, his eyes sharpened. "They're not scattered," he murmured. "They're gathered, waiting." "For us," Amelia whispered. "For you." Rafe drew in a slow breath. Then he pushed the door open. The room where everything goes wrong. It was Sophia's apartment, but not the one Amelia remembered. The lights were off, furniture overturned, curtains ripped down, a chair lying sideways, rope hanging from one armrest, and the smell of fear still clinging to the air. "Sophia?" Amelia whispered, voice already breaking. A faint noise came from the hallway. Rafe reacted first, tackling Amelia sideways just as bang! A silenced shot sliced past where her head had been. 3 cartel men burst through. The hallway, guns raised. Rafe rolled to his feet, dragging her behind the sofa. "Stay low," he hissed. Amelia fired blindly over the armrest. Rafe moved like a predator unleashed, precise, deadly. He shot one man clean in the chest, then used the falling body as cover to strike the second. But the third... He grabbed Amelia from behind, cold steel pressing into her jaw. "Drop it!" the man growled to Rafe. Amelia froze. Rafe didn't. His eyes narrowed, calculating angles, distance, breathing. Patterns. "Last chance," the man warned, pressing the gun harder. Rafe raised his weapon. "Wrong," he said softly. He fired. The bullet hit the man in the shoulder. Not center mass. Enough to make him drop Amelia, but not enough to kill him instantly. Amelia stumbled forward into Rafe's arms, breath shaking. "You okay?" She nodded, even though her entire body trembled. But then, the wounded man crawled toward the window, and Amelia saw it. A smear of red paint on his glove. Not blood. Paint. A mark. A signal. Her stomach dropped. "They're not done," she whispered. "This wasn't the hit. This was the message." And then they both heard it. Footsteps, dozens of them, in the stairwell. Coming up. The betrayal. Rafe grabbed Amelia's wrist and pulled her behind the kitchen counter. "We need to move now." But as they crawled across the floor, Amelia spotted something near the bedroom door. Sophia's bracelet, lying neatly, placed intentionally, a warning or a promise. "She was here," Amelia whispered. "Recently." Rafe touched her shoulder gently but urgently. "She's still alive, that's why we can't die here." They reached the back hallway just as heavy boots thundered into the apartment. "Go," Rafe whispered. "I'll cover..." A bullet shattered the wall and hit him in the side. Amelia screamed. "Rafe!" He staggered but stayed upright, pressing a hand to the wound. Blood seeped through his fingers, dark, terrifying. "I'm fine," he insisted through clenched teeth. "Move!" Another shot. Hit the doorframe inches from her head. Rafe pushed her forward. "Run!" She did, only because she knew if she hesitated, he would step in front of another bullet. They burst into the stairwell. Men were coming up. More were coming down, trapped. The choice that destroys her, Rafe grabbed Amelia's face, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Listen to me," he said, breath ragged, blood staining his shirt. "You go through that maintenance hatch, drop into the alley. Don't look back." "I'm not leaving. Are you?" "I'll slow them down." "That's suicide." He gave her a faint, heartbreaking smile. "Amelia, we both know I don't get a future in this story. But you do, and Sophia needs you." Tears blurred her vision. "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "No, I'm not..." He kissed her. Not desperate, not rushed, not a goodbye, a promise. Then he pushed her toward the hatch. "Run!" She stumbled through it, just as the stairwell door burst open behind Rafe. Gunfire erupted. Shouts filled the air. And Amelia dropped into the alley, landing hard on her knees. Her hands shook uncontrollably. Her breath came in sobs. Above her, echoes of the firefight raged. And then, one single gunshot, loud, final, echoing through the alley. Her heart shattered. "Rafe," she whispered. But she forced herself up, forced herself to run, forced herself to disappear into the darkness. Because Rafe had bought her one thing, time, and she would use every second of it to find her sister and to destroy the cartel that had just taken everything from her. Amelia didn't remember how long she ran. Through alleys, across empty streets, past blurred headlights and neon reflections that smeared into meaningless streaks. She only stopped when her lungs burned and her legs gave out beneath her. She collapsed behind an abandoned gas station, hands shaking violently, breath fractured. "Rafe!" The name came out broken, raw, almost unrecognizable as her own voice. The bullet, the scream, the single gunshot afterward. Her mind replayed it in loops meant to destroy her. But breaking down wasn't an option. Not while Sophia was still missing, not while the cartel was hunting her, not while Rafe's blood was still warm on her hands. She forced herself to stand. The world didn't care that her heart had been ripped apart. It only cared if she kept moving. The safe house that wasn't safe. The address Rafe had whispered hours earlier wasn't a rumor. It was a place he'd kept hidden, even from the cartel. A rundown mechanic's shop, on the edge of town. Lights off, door half open. Silence heavy as dust. Amelia stepped inside, gun raised. "Hello?" she whispered. Nothing, until she saw it. A folded piece of paper taped to a workbench. Her name written in Rafe's handwriting. Her chest tightened as she approached it. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside were two things: a flash drive, a handwritten note. Her vision blurred as she read, "If you're reading this, they came for me. But that doesn't matter now. What matters? Here's what I found about Sophia." Her heart slammed against her ribs. She kept reading. "Your sister didn't run away. She didn't vanish. She was taken. Not by accident, not at random. She was taken because of you." Amelia's breath stopped. "What?" The truth that unravels everything. Rafe's note continued, each line sharper and more devastating than the last. "Your father isn't just a sheriff. He was once on the cartel payroll." Amelia's entire body froze. No, impossible. Her father had spent his entire life fighting criminals, except, had he? Sophia found out, the note continued. She uncovered evidence. She tried to confront him. That's why she disappeared. Amelia felt the ground tilt beneath her. Her father, the man who taught her right and wrong, the man who told her the world needed people like them, had been lying her entire life. She read the next part with numb fingers. "Your father ordered a cleanup. He paid to have Sophia taken, but she fought back. She escaped before who could finish the job." Amelia gasped as tears flooded her vision. Sophia was alive. Alive. Somewhere. Rafe had died to tell her that. And then, the final line. "There's one more truth you need to hear. The cartel didn't attack you tonight because of Sophia. They attacked because someone told them you were looking for her, someone close, someone you trusted." She stumbled back from the bench, shaking. Her father, her own father had... No, she needed proof. She grabbed the flash drive with trembling hands and plugged it into the dusty computer on the corner desk. The screen flickered. A video file opened automatically. In the recording, a dim warehouse, a single chair. Sophia tied to it, bruised, terrified, alive. A voice behind the camera asked, "Where is the evidence?" And her sister whispered through tears, "Amelia has it. She just doesn't know yet." Amelia's knees buckled. Her sister had been protecting her. And suddenly, everything made sense. The threats, the attack, the men sent to kill her, the sudden shift in the cartel's behavior. They weren't hunting her because she was a sheriff. They were hunting her because she was the last link to Sophia's discovery, the evidence capable of destroying both the cartel and the man who raised her. The choice that defines who she becomes. For a long moment, Amelia stood there, staring at the frozen last frame of the video, her sister's terrified eyes looking straight into the lens, looking straight at her. Rafe's blood was still under her fingernails. Her badge was gone. Her father was no longer the man she thought he was. She was alone. But she had something now, the truth. The kind of truth people kill for, the kind of truth people die for. And Rafe already had. She wiped her tears with the back of her hand, the grief hardening into something sharp, focused, unstoppable. A vow. "I'm coming for you, Sophia," she whispered. "And I'm burning every one of them to the ground." She pocketed the flash drive. Tucked. Rafe's note close to her heart, and stepped out of the garage into the cold night air. No badge, no backup, no rules. Just a sister on a mission, and a cartel about to learn what happens when they try to destroy the wrong family.